After a few extensions, the current bill is set to expire on September 30th. With the summer recess coming in, it being election year, I think this will either be fast-tracked and passed, or they'll kick the can again. But it would be nice to have it finalized before Senator Stabenow's retirement, as she is the Ag Committee Chair. So it was a great trip and truly an honor to go there, and it was just great. So thank you for all your support on that. Are there any questions? Very good, thank you. We'll move on to the clerk's report. Madam Clerk.
I laid a memo that I had received earlier in the agenda. We had accepted some resignations. I had a request for some unused vacation time to be paid out from an employee. I guess I just want everybody's thoughts. Union contract states you have to give 2 weeks notice. 2 days notice was given. I don't know. Can't really say a whole lot more about it with the employee not here, but he's requesting a payout of the vacation, and
I'm not.
Yeah, I'm just saying the employee is asking us to violate the collective bargaining agreement that we had with the union, which we never want to do. And anytime we do anything that goes against the union contract or even does a moonwalk across that line, we like to work with the union as well and have a memorandum of understanding, so both parties are in agreement that, all right, we're going to break this rule and we're going to do this, and both are agreed. We do not have that agreement. We are not going to have that agreement.
We did sit down with the union and discuss it, and there, like Lynn said, there will not be an MOU coming out of that. My thoughts are he gave us 2 days notice. The contract clearly states you only get your vacation payout if you give us 2 weeks, so I don't think we should pay out the vacation time. I don't want to set a precedent for this, because what's the point of saying that there's a 2-week requirement if it doesn't matter?
That's exactly what I was going to say. If we set a precedence, all it is now it's whether or not we're picking and choosing at that point, and we can't say because of this many years, this reason. I think there's a contract in place, and fortunately, whether the service was outstanding or not, I don't believe we can do that.
well, and unfortunately, with some odd circumstances, the employee never approached the union to begin with. So that would be a typical go to the union, request this. The message came directly to me. Still hasn't spoken to the union about it. The union's stance on it wasn't that, it wasn't, yeah, we're in favor of it, no, we're not in favor of it. It was, he quit and gave 2 days notice, and then almost a week later he asked for the vacation. He's not a union member anymore. So they're not wanting to really be involved in the decision per se. So their thought is, you know, he didn't go to them anyways, and being as the notice wasn't given, which again, that's the reason we have it. Plus, as we all know, when somebody quits abruptly, it leaves a gap in your job duties and whatnot. So
There's nothing more I'd rather do than give him his unused vacation, but by doing so, opens up so much. Like I can only imagine receiving an agreements for doing so. So
as a 15-year union person, you know what the rules are.
is there any further discussion or a motion?
There doesn't have to be.
Here, there does not. So hearing neither vote, Madam Clerk, is there anything else in the report?
no, just Sharon and I are working very hard on going through all of our permanent absentee list voters, those that have signed up to be on the permanent ballot list because of Proposal 2. We still have, I think, 1,300 out there that we don't know where they are. So right now I'm creating a database. I think I'm going to send letters out. I just sent postcards out, which has generated people coming in, which has been good, because our big fear is August, November, we're going to get bombarded with why didn't you send me a ballot, or why didn't you do this? And we're too busy during August and November, so that's why we're working on it now. So I feel good. We're getting a lot of it cleaned up. We're finding a lot of voters that aren't here anymore, that applied in February have since moved. So it's a lot of work, but it's one time. I feel like I'm going to know every single voter's name, address, and date of birth in the township because I've gone through these applications so many times, but it'll be worth it in the long run. So other than that's been keeping me very busy all day. So.
Any other questions? Madam Clerk, thank you. Moving on to the Treasurer's Report, Madam Treasurer.
I've got my quarterly report.
I'll make a motion to approve the quarterly report dated March 31st, 2024.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor with an aye, please.
Aye.
Opposed with a nay? That is received.
The only other thing I want to say is that it's not really treasurer stuff, it's more assessor stuff, but we are due for our assessing audit this year, and we got the notification, and Todd and I have been working on that. We sent everything all the paperwork and everything that we had to send to the state for the assessing audit, and we just got a reply back last week. It was basically just a couple little things that they were just kind of questioning, and we've already set up the meeting with them to go over the audit, and since it's literally a 5-minute meeting, we feel like we're probably going to get a good report on the audit. So I'll let you guys know after we have that on the 28th.
I took the liberty of announcing that last month, but I was a lot more excited.
Yeah.
Is there any other questions? No. Madam Treasurer, thank you. All right, moving on to our trustees report. And this week's order was selected by our building administrative assistant. So we will start up with Trustee Taylor.
Oh, lucky me. Who do I thank for that?
You can thank Amy.
Oh, good. Trustee Cook is not here tonight, but she said something really good to me in a discussion I wanted to mention. The fact that it's every other week for recycling, and that's a hard thing to remember. And she suggested taping, what a great idea, taping the schedule to the underneath of the recycle bin, so every time you open it, you look at it. So I just wanted to pass that along. If you ever hear anybody say, how am I supposed to remember that? You know, obviously we give those out. That was a really good idea. So I didn't know if she was going to mention it or not. So I stole her thunder. As she's gone, that's her fault. That's all I have. Good idea if anybody asks.
Very good.
Laminate it first.
Yeah.
All right, Trustee Jaworski.
I do not have any.
Trustee LaPlante.
Nothing to report.
All right, moving on, we do have some budget adjustments in front of us.
I'll make a motion to approve the budget adjustments.
Support.
Is there any discussion? All right, we are moving money around, so Ms. Sharon, may we roll call vote this, please?
Jaworski?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
LaPlante?
Yes.
Cook, absent. Wardinski?
Yes.
Bublitz?
Yes.
Rowley?
Aye. Sharon, I will apologize in advance. There's a few more roll calls coming forward. We'll now move on to the introduction of ordinance to amend floodplain ordinance number 323 as amended. Just a little backstory. We said a while ago that all of our flood maps are going to be changing and a lot less of the township is going to be in the 100-year floodplain, so there's going to be lots of cheering and goodness, but there's a few things that we need to do in order to make that completely official, which would be on July the 31st. This is the first step in doing so. This one is really not much, just saying that it's we are going to be in charge of the management of this and the enforcement of this.
I'll make a motion to approve an amendment to ordinance 323, which is addressing floodplain management.
Support.
Is there any discussion? Would our floodplain administrator have any comments on this?
No, I think it's a great thing for the residents of the township, for the floodplain to be going down. And like you said, it's just mainly to clean up some language to keep FEMA and Eagle happy, and only like 2 or 3 sentences we had to clean up.
Sounds good. Hearing nothing else, Ms. Sharon, may we roll call this, please?
Taylor?
Aye.
LaPlante?
Yes.
Cook, absent. Wardinski?
Yes.
Bublitz?
Yes.
Jaworski?
Yes.
Rowley?
Aye. All right, that was so much fun. Let us move on to the introduction of ordinance to amend flood damage prevention, ordinance number 233, as amended. Again, this is the second verse, same as the first. You'll just see all of the different flood flannels on this one, some of them being just scratched off all the way, cleaning up the language and everything that we need to do to stay in compliance.
Make a motion to introduce an amendment to ordinance 233, amending the flood damage prevention ordinance.
Second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, Ms. Sharon, may we roll call this, please?
LaPlante?
Yes.
Cook, absent. Wardensky?
Yes.
Bublitz?
Yes.
Yaborski?
Yes.
Taylor?
Aye.
Rowley?
Aye. Very good. Those are approved. We are now looking for an approval of the marijuana renewal permits with a very long list. And I'm sure there's a very well worded.
We do that for renewals.
No.
No, just
No.
make a motion to approve the marijuana renewal permits as attached.
Support.
That was really easy.
Yeah.
Are there any questions? Hearing none, all in favor with an aye, please.
Aye.
Opposed with a nay. They are approved. And we will now be looking for a grant administration and letter of agreement for professional services with the Spicer Group.
Make a motion to approve the grant administration letter of agreement for professional services with Spicer Group in the amount of $41,500 for the park and river access improvements.
Support.
Is there any discussion?
Just wanted to point out that the $41,500 engineering costs are like in the grant, will be covered by the grant.
And this is at the bull launch that we've been discussing for some time now. There's been some personnel changes at Spicer that kind of slowed this a little bit. So now we're jumping back on the wagon and moving up to speed. Any other questions or discussion? All right, Ms. Sharon, may we roll call vote this, please?
Wardensky?
Yes.
Bublitz?
Yes.
Yaborski?
Yes.
Taylor?
Aye.
LaPlante?
Yes.
Cook, absent. Rowley?
Aye. All right, that is approved, and we now have the approval for an agreement for police services liaison officer between the Charter Township of Bangor, Bangor Township Schools, and the Bay County Sheriff's Department effective August the 27th, 2024 through August the 26th, 2025. This is just a renewal of the current agreement that we have to keep a liaison officer in the schools who becomes a deputy, road patrol deputy for us when school is not in session.
I'll make a motion to approve the contract for 2024-25 in the amount of $45,259.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, Ms. Sharon, may we roll call vote this, please?
Bublitz?
Yes.
Yaborski?
Yes.
Taylor?
Aye.
LaPlante?
Yes.
Cook, absent. Wardensky?
Yes.
Rowley?
Aye. All right, that is approved. Our last item of new business was moved over from the consent agenda, which was the, I want to get the wording correctly on here. Acceptance of maintenance personnel Mike Adams' resignation and part-time maintenance personnel Kevin Eckmeyer's verbal resignation. Our maintenance staff, with the building official kind of taking reins of that department. Very regimented list of here's what we need you to do. Every time you clean the bathrooms, these are the steps that you need to do. Every Monday you need to clean this. Every Tuesday we do this. At the boat launch you need to do this. When you put the plankings on the decking, the grain has to go like this, not like this. So set rules and standards and directions that were given, very thorough instructions that were just not followed. Multiple meetings of reviewing, hey, this is what we're, pardon me?
Can't really discuss a whole lot about an employee without the employee here.
Understand.
Yeah.
After a series of reviews with possible course corrections, they decided they were, that's about enough of this, we don't want to hear it anymore. The building official came to work and there was a resignation by an employee that was left on his desk, and the other one verbally said, I quit. So it was not a
There was no
There was-
explanation.
There was nothing illegal, there was no hanky-panky, nothing's come up missing, nothing scandalous. It was just employees that said, I'm done. I will entertain any questions, once again, not using employees' names.
Well, I'll make a motion to accept the resignations from Mike Adams and Kevin McNair.
No support.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor with an aye, please.
Aye.
Opposed with a nay. I hope that satisfied curiosities. At this point, I will now open up public input on anything you folks would like to discuss. All we ask is that you sign your book and keep it to 3 minutes or less. Mr. Bristow.
Be my last time that I'm going to be talking about cancer, because if you don't get it by now, you never will, no matter how much more I presented. Here's your state of Michigan. You notice we're in the red. Welcome to the killing fields, right? All this is credible information. And I'm extremely good at what I do. Getting information is the easiest thing in the world because of the people I know and my contacts. And it's not that hard. And you can catch people lying. I didn't go to the Court of Claims and the appeals court because I was a visitor. I went because I was trained at profiling. And I could see it. I would suggest you start caring about the people that elected you, because if you don't, this election, I'm sure there's going to be somewhat of a turnaround. And if it is, there's going to be unhappiness. And I'm going to do something different. I gave Miss Jaworski a copy of this. She can share it. And I notice this lady here is doing a lot of copying. I'm going to give this to her. I'd suggest you start paying attention and don't promote cancer catching. And it's not hard to figure out what the problems are. And under the new GM agreement, you'd be surprised the coverage I can get for free. I already talked to Ben Johnson. And one of the things that is in that little pamphlet, you talk about the wastewater treatment plant and everything. Some of the cleaning chemicals exceed the limits. The same chemicals that have exceeded are the same ones that PGE got sued for by Aaron Brockovich, which I have contacted her as well. Thank you.
Mr. Bristow, thank you. Is there anyone else? Public input going once, going twice. We'll close public input and a few announcements. The Zoning Board of Appeals will be meeting on May the 21st at 6 p.m. The Planning Commission will be meeting on May the 22nd at 6 p.m. And the administrative offices will be celebrating Memorial Day. The office will be closed and we'll be busy attending services. We'd love to have you join us on May the 28th. Are there any other announcements? And that, thank you all for your attendance. I would love to hear a motion to adjourn at 6:36.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor with an aye, please?
Aye.
Thank you all for coming. Have a fabulous evening.